season is over, but it's not bad how it all ended, I guess. So this is the Academy, Urban Sports Perspectives. I am Grapefruit, and I am here with the Ultimate Male and D Money. Fellas, how we doing?
What's
What you
going
mean?
on?
Yeah, what you mean it didn't end bad? I don't understand the comment. That needs some explanation.
Well, I just put like this. I didn't listen. I had them at 7 wins. I'm good. It was all gravy for me. But okay, so maybe wrong choice of words. I won't say it didn't end bad. I mean, it ended so technically it was bad. But I can't necessarily be upset about it.
Well,
Gentlemen,
I'm gonna say it did end bad because they lost, and I think I'm a little upset about it because I this was an opportunity that they had to advance to the next round, to the NFC Conference Championship, and it was right there for them to take advantage of it. They should have won it, in my opinion. They had a lot of things going in their favor. They had weather conditions, which definitely affected the Rams quarterback, Matthew Stafford. So this was the opportunity for them to really win, and they didn't get it done. So it's a little upsetting. Yeah, it was a great season. It was a lot of fun. It was like a roller coaster ride every game. The way they came back in at least 7 of those games to win. But I do think they missed an opportunity. And like we've said in previous shows, you never know what's going to happen in the NFL. It's a game to game league, and it's definitely a year to year league. So when you have an opportunity to win, when you make the playoffs and you have an opportunity to win, you have got to take advantage of that, and they didn't. So it's a little upsetting, disappointing, but at the same time, yeah, it was a fun season. So I did enjoy it, but they should have won.
And the second thing is they should have won the game, but what is disappointing mostly is the thing that we pointed out as a positive all year is wait, I'll make my other point before I get to that. But we pointed, everyone agreed on something that was a positive for this season.
mm-hmm,
So during the game, the Bears, they led in yardage, they led in time of possession,
mm-hmm.
they led in first downs. All the offensive categories they led in, except the most important one, which is points. Why didn't they? Why didn't they lead in points? It was because of some of the decisions that we all agreed came from the coach of the future. He had a bad game. He made some bad offensive play calls and some bad decisions when they were in the red zone, when there were points there to be taken. If those points were taken, we would likely be having a different discussion. So the most disappointing part, like Money says, the game was there for the taking, but the thing that turned the Bears season around, which is the coach, is the one reason why they lost this game. So it's kind of upsetting that we've got this great coach. He turned the team around, but in the most important point of the season, when they had a chance to advance to the NFC Conference Championship game, he kind of fell short. He got out coached. He outthought himself, was a little too aggressive at times. He put the quarterback in harm's way by giving him a little too much leeway at times, like i.e. the last play. But that's the most disappointing part is that it was there to taking. We don't know what's going to happen next year. The great coach, which we all identified to have, got out coached by the opposing coach.
Okay, so number one, you're wrong in regards to him getting outcoached by the opposing coach. You're wrong there because Sean McVay had a bad game as well because Dennis Allen outcoached him. That's one. Two, I I probably would have taken the field goal when they were on the 21-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kick that. But the other stuff was execution. Odunze missed that touchdown. Should have caught that ball. Should have caught it. Should have caught that ball. You had also he missed a block, which led to your running back having to try to outleap someone because he missed a block. So there was some execution in regards to the players that was also a part of this as well. So this was a team loss more so than just a coach's loss. Now the coach that I think had the best game by far was Dennis Allen. They didn't cause any turnovers, but and even Sean McVay said this, you kicked our ass. At the end of the game, said, you kicked my ass. That he had a solid game plan for the number one offense to score 20 points.
Bro, you giving participation trophies. It's not, it doesn't work like that. I mean, I get he had a great game, but every play is execution. So the coach has to take that into account when he's making these aggressive calls. Not every play is going to be executed perfectly. He should know that in crucial, because if they did, it would be a touchdown every play. It'd be a touchdown every series. So execution never is like 100% thing. You have to take that into account when you're making these calls.
Well, I'm not saying that he didn't have a great game. I'm not saying that at all. But the execution part is important. And the fact is, this is your coach. This is what he does. You're going to have to live with it. Or have Matt Eberflus come back and not even make it to this game. Yeah. You got it. What's your choice? Matt Eberflus or Ben Johnson?
My choice is I agree with you. That first one I was okay with going for, but there comes a time when you say, you know what? And I think in most either talking heads, real time, we're saying, you know what? This time I think it's better to take the points. Everybody said that. And if you probably could ask him, he probably would say, you know what? Looking back on it, that probably was a better decision if I'd have took the points in that situation.
But okay, but again, you're conflating what I'm saying. I didn't say he had a great game. I didn't say that. I'm saying that this is your coach. This is what he does. Should he have made some decisions in regards to that? Yes. But were there some execution problems? Yeah. This was a team loss. It wasn't just a coach loss, is what I'm saying. I'm saying everyone's at fault about this. And the one person that is the least at fault is Dennis Allen.
That's fair. I'll let Money weigh in, but I agree. It's definitely a team loss. But there is a tier in terms of culpability, is what I'm saying. Like who's most at fault? Who's second at fault? Who's third at fault? What I'm saying, it was a team effort. Everybody, has a piece of that pie. What I'm saying is that bigger slice is some game time decision making is all I'm saying.
I think it's just a team loss because a lot of people could have done things better. Yeah, there could have been some better coaching decisions. Caleb could have made some better throws, some of the easier throws that he's been missing all season. The receivers could have caught some balls that they should have caught. So it's a team loss, but I agree with Fruit on this aspect. This is what you had all season with this team. You live and die on aggressiveness. And they've been living on being aggressive for a while, and they've been escaping by the skin of their teeth. And this time they just couldn't escape it. So, you know what? I'm okay because it was consistent, but we just needed them to execute in certain key moments. And you know what? That drop by Odunze was huge because you take the lead, you jump out to an early start against your opponent, and maybe that's the difference in the game. So, but again, we can fault a lot of people for what happened, but at the end of the day, it was a team loss. But that aggressiveness is what got them this far. So really, you're going to live and die by it. So I'm okay with that. I like the aggressive style. They're going to work that out. They're going to fine tune that, and hopefully they can perfect it next season. But I'm okay with them losing the same way they've been winning.
My final point on this topic, I'm going to say this again, because the part y'all are missing is that, like I said before, they led in yardage, they led in first downs, they led in time of possession. The only piece they were missing was a point here or there. So if they had that point here or there, which could have easily been changed by one or two coaching decisions, regardless of this execution, which obviously was kind of on point because they beat the other team in those other categories, it will be a different. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying that they didn't live and die by this, that, they didn't do this all year. What I'm saying is in this particular game, if you lead in all offensive categories except the main one, there's an issue there. And it could boil down to a couple of key decisions. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to say it's more of Rams not playing Rams football because they've been the leading scoring team. They're number one in almost every offensive category, and they were absolutely horrible on Sunday. They didn't come close to putting up the numbers that they usually do. And you can say it's a Dennis Allen is maybe responsible for that. I'm not sure if you can give him all the credit, but you give him a lot of credit. The defense was pretty solid, but we didn't see a normal Rams output. I think normally the Rams are probably going to beat us in all categories. So again, at the end of the day, none of that even matters because we lost. That's all that matters. We did not take advantage of the opportunity that was right in front of us at home to win this game. You know, if you ask me, when we were watching the game together, when they scored that last touchdown, that miraculous, crazy throw that Caleb did to Cole Kmet, we kind of bantered back and forth. Do you go for two, right? And just put this thing away. In hindsight, maybe you do go for it and maybe you win, but you know, they weren't doing so well in the red zone up to that point. And so I can see him saying, let's take our chances in overtime. But
and that's exactly what he said in post game, that hey, our short yardage game was not up to par. And so I wasn't comfortable with doing that, which is why I didn't go for two. So again, yeah, this is I get the, you know, a decision here, a decision here. Yeah, but I still think as a collective, this was just a team loss. Now, the one thing I will say about the defense, that was probably the best defensive game they played this entire season. In regards to the opponent, in regards to what happened, in regards to how they were able to keep them basically at under 20 points until obviously the last field goal. But look, I have no doubts again that we have the quarterback and we have the coach. And at the beginning of the season, especially after week number 2, we didn't know if we had either. And now I am pretty sure that we have both. And I can say this. Yeah, I had them winning 7 games, and most of us didn't, except for Ultimate. Obviously, he said that this was going to be the season. They were going to need to do this. So I'll again throw up in my mouth, but in saying that, in regards to that, but the joy that this team gave the city of Chicago is unparalleled to what I've ever seen. Cubs won in 2016. Yeah, city was overwhelmed, but you know, you got Cubs fans, you got Sox fans. Chicago is a bear city, point blank, period, end of discussion. And what they did for the city of Chicago this year, I don't know if we've ever seen. I mean, yeah, 85 was dominant. We were kind of young still then, so we couldn't necessarily grasp what was going on. But what they did, all of it unified the city, which is crazy to me. All the stuff that you would see on Facebook in regards to the big watch parties, and they grew as the season grew, and all of the joy and stuff that they had. This was a year like no other. We won't see this again, because even they said it in the post game. And that's the difference. I go back to D Money saying in regards to the Matt Nagy thing. Here's the huge difference in regards to Matt Nagy's first season as opposed to Ben Johnson's first season. Well, one, Ben Johnson won a playoff game. That's one. But two, even after them getting eliminated, he said, look, next year is different. Next year is next year. It is not 2025. This room's going to be different. Everything's going to be different. That is next year's team. And so we don't know exactly what's going on. We don't even know who's going to be in this room. We know some of the people that are going to be in this room, but we don't know who all is going to be here. It's going to be a totally different team. And so, and that was also said by the players. So they have bought into what Ben Johnson is selling, as opposed to when Matt Nagy was like, we're going to build upon this and we're going to be even better next year. And obviously that did not happen. And we've put the playbook out there, and now we got playbook number 2, this, that, and the other. That's what Matt Nagy was saying, and that didn't come out of his mouth. I think we have the coach because the coach is realistic in regards to what is possible for next year or what next year is going to be. He already told you, already put it out there that, hey, this is going to be different. It will not be what this year was. This year was special. Special team, special moments. Maybe even next year, we won't need as many special moments, but it is going to be different. Hopefully it'll be better. It is actually probably, technically speaking, it's probably more that the Bears don't make the playoffs in regards to this NFL as opposed to them doing that or exceeding what they did this year. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see how good the coach is. We'll see how good they build up this roster. Hopefully they'll get some more people on the defensive, get a kick-ass defensive end, maybe another corner that can cover, so forth and so on. But this year, it will never be another 2025. This was something so special that we had never seen before. And I'm just happy that it was. And I was able to see it from afar. I really wish I was in Chicago to be in there to kind of feel it, to even go to a game, because Soldier Field was rocking like it never rocked before. But yeah, this year, I have to give kudos to the Bears actually finally making a good decision.
Just real quick, what I want to say the biggest difference is between Matt Nagy and Ben Johnson? You know what the biggest difference is? Caleb Williams. That's it. Matt Nagy had Mitch Trubisky to work with, and Ben Johnson has Caleb Williams. That's really the biggest difference. That's why Ben is here. That's why he wanted the job, because he saw that quarterback, and in his mind, which he has a very creative mind for an offense, he knew what he could do with a quarterback like that. So the jury's still out on Ben Johnson. And ultimate, I'd like to ask you, do you think he is the coach? Is he the one to take this team to the promised land?
Right. See, actually, when I was saying Ben Johnson was a huge part of that loss, I was actually giving him a compliment, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
what?
I'm going to work into this.
Okay.
If Ben Johnson, if he had already developed into 100% of what he's going to be, and the Bears still lost, I would be upset. But he's showing that he has room to grow. So what I'm saying is the mistake he made Sunday is not the mistake he's going to make next year and the year after. So what I'm saying is I'm glad he fell short a little bit, because he was at 100% and they still lost and he still made those decisions. I would be a little more pessimistic. But I know he can grow from this season, grow from that game, and take a step forward. And to answer Money's question, and everybody said this in the beginning of the season, what we want from this season, most of all, is to know if we have the quarterback and to know if we have the coach. So yes, I do think they've got the quarterback and I think they've got the coach. But the only thing about that is what that ensures you some stability, that ensures some consistency, that will ensure some wins, but it's definitely not necessarily ensuring division title, conference title, Super Bowl. It's just basically stability and maybe some 500 seasons at worst, because of the season, or not the season, the league is just so unpredictable. The Bears could make some incremental growth and still lose more games. And like Fruit said, there's no way in hell the Bears next year are going to win or come from behind in the last 2 minutes to win 7 or 8 games. It's not going to happen. But hopefully they won't be in a position to have to do that, right? They should be ahead, hopefully. But even if not, they're not going to win all those games. So my point is, we don't know what's going to happen next year. I do expect them to be a better team. That may not translate into more wins because the other factors that we just can't account for. So yeah,
also,
answer Money's question. Yes, I do think they had a coach. Go ahead.
Also, next year, this is still one of the best, if not the best division in the NFL. You got the NFC West with 3 teams that have 12 or more wins. Yes. But this division, again, everyone was over 500. Now, we don't know what number 9 is going to do in Minnesota. That's actually your wild card because we don't know what's going to happen there. But I for sure the Lions will be back. The Packers will still be there as well. And so it's just going to be incumbent upon the Bears to go ahead and to make some serious decisions. Do you trade DJ Moore? I don't know. Unless you can get like a kick ass. If the Raiders said, hey, you give us DJ Moore and we'll give you Max Crosby, done.
They would
done.
be idiots to do that, but yes, it'd be done.
Well, they may be idiots, and that's the thing. So that's why I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I mean, this it's I still think that the trend is upward, but yeah, I see what you're saying, Ultimate, in regards to he's going to grow into this role, and yes, and that is a very key point here. This was his first season as a head coach, very first season as a head coach. So there's obviously going to be some room to go.
And real quickly, you mentioned the trading DJ Moore. Unfortunately, in my opinion, here in Chicago, on all the radio stations and the local podcasts, all of a sudden it seems like everybody's ready to run DJ Moore out of town because everybody feels like he gave up on that play that Caleb Williams threw the interception. So I don't mind DJ Moore being traded because I think you do have a lot of value with him, and he's an attractive player to other teams. But I do think people are going a little bit overboard on the DJ Moore hate because, hey, if we want to talk about clutch, we know we have a clutch quarterback, but he's a clutch receiver. And on the receiving end of a lot of those clutch throws Caleb made, just happened to be DJ Moore. And he was not just a receiver. He ran from the backfield. He was kind of the utility receiver you could use in a lot of different ways. And he took a beating. And for one play that, it looks like he didn't hustle as hard as he should have to try to go after the ball. And maybe he could have got the ball before the defender. I don't know. But I just think the hate is a little bit unreal for somebody who was key to some of the success we saw at this team.
Well, I agree with that, and because even though I am in Texas, I have never listened to like 1 second of Texas radio in regards to sports radio. I still listen to the score faithfully every day. I guess the issue with DJ Moore is, unfortunately, that's not the first time this has happened, and that's kind of the rub. Where if the play is not going to be coming to him, he doesn't necessarily sell out as much as he probably should. Do I think they should trade him? Only if they get someone stupid enough to make a deal that it benefits the Bears. If you can't do that, then don't trade him. I am very comfortable with that 3 wide receiver set of him, Burden, and Odunze. Now Rome Odunze, on the other hand, he's got to start catching the ball.
We talked about that.
You are the number 9 pick of the draft. You got to start catching the ball. He's way too many missed passes for someone that's drafted that high. So there needs to be some culpability in regards to him. I wish his dad would send a text or something, or write a post on there about his dude not getting the ball enough. Your son needs to catch the ball, sir. That's what we need your son to do. So he's going to need to be the number 9 pick because their receivers that were picked ahead of him have so much better stats. But unfortunately, there are receivers that are picked behind him that have so many better stats than he does in regards to his catches and yards and so forth and so on. So I'm going to need Rome to, if he's going to be wide receiver number 1, he's going to need to progress fast.
Yeah, 100%.
But also the other thing is we got to give Rand Paul some credit. I mean, it's begrudgingly because I wanted that dude out of town so fast. Because I still, just think if they had Roquan Smith as a linebacker right now. I mean, that defense looks different already. But nevertheless, Colston Loveland is going to be a problem in this league. It's not Tyler Warren got off to a good start, but Colston Loveland is that dude. He is another wide receiver. I can't wait to see what they do on the offseason. It's going to be very interesting. And I think a lot of people are going to be very interested in regards to seeing what they do. The Bears have put themselves back on the map. And it's about damn time, really.
For
Yeah.
sure. But I think we see a better team. I think you already said it. You just got to really tighten up that defense. We need an edge rusher. We need somebody who's a better cover corner, somebody with some speed that can actually keep up with some
Team
people.
speed is important.
That's not always trailing and not catching for these explosive plays that happen against our DBs sometimes. So, but mainly, if you're building a great team, you need, as we've already said, a great coach, a great quarterback, and you got to be solid up front, right? You got to have a solid offensive and defensive line. I think the offensive line is there. If you find a great left tackle somewhere, do it.
Yes.
But I do like the rookie Trapillo is his name, I think.
Yeah.
He played well, but you got to shore up that defensive line because, listen, if we can get a front four that could put pressure on the quarterback, do you know how that opens up the rest of that defense?
It opens up everything.
So, and if you can get Max Crosby, if teams are willing to deal him, I'm almost like whatever it takes, do it. Because that dude is a beast. In my opinion, and we played against some elite defensive ends this year. If you look at all the great ones we played against, he, in my opinion, gave the offense the most problem.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Because we played Myles Garrett. He wasn't that. That wasn't that. He didn't show that performance against the Bears. Max Crosby was all over the field. And you all saw him live too. So you all really got a chance to see that.
He was killing.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, the Raiders are idiots. It's a bad organization, even with Tom Brady. And so I'm looking forward to make some idiot decisions. So you never know. But the one thing with the DJ Moore thing in regards to also them trading him, he has a high salary cap figure, and so that may not just be a viable time to actually trade him. That's the thing.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'll tell you one thing, but the Raiders, I know what they will get right. They are taking that quarterback from Indiana, Mendoza. He is going to be a Raider. It's very clear because they were on the sidelines at the game. So that is something they will get right. He will be a Las Vegas Raider.
But here's the thing. I don't think that. I mean, he's a great college quarterback. I don't think he's gonna be a great professional.
Yeah, I don't know. The jury. I mean, obviously the jury's out, but I'm a little skeptical myself. I mean, yeah.
He's going there. I mean, who else would you take as a quarterback from that draft class?
Well, and that's the thing. This is not the draft class of 2 years ago. So the quarterback draft class this upcoming draft is not great at all, actually. Where the fact that he actually would be the number one pick, and I'd say if he was in the quarterback classes a couple of years ago, that guy's going in the second or third round.
Yeah.
That is not to me. Just the eye test shows that's just not a first round. He's got more Tim Tebow in him than say Drake May, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think he's going to go number one, and he probably should based on the circumstances. But I'm not convinced he's going to be a standout franchise, win me some Super Bowls type quarterback.
Yeah, I don't see it. But I mean, kudos to them for winning something that no one. I don't know. Ultimate, do you know what the odds were for Indiana winning the national championship at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I don't know the number, but I'm sure it was off the charts.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity in regards to that.
It was.
Especially if you call it an undefeated season.
Yeah, 100%.
Six, 16-0. I mean, that is
A first in the
okay.
modern era, right?
Yeah, yeah. The only other team that won 16 was the Yale team back in the 1800s. So yeah, there you go. So last word on the Bears, gentlemen. Ultimate?
Yeah, so my last word is how quickly the narrative can change. At the end of last season, a lot of the talking heads nationally were discussing whether Caleb Williams was a bust, how obviously Jaden Daniels was the better pick, how he had fell behind Bo Nix, Drake May, et cetera, et cetera. How quickly that narrative's changed. Now they're saying he's like the greatest thing since, sliced bread. Um, and that even with him having like the lowest completion percentage in the league, I believe.
Yeah.
So with that low completion percentage and him still being able to like change the opinions of all the of the nation, when he gets that percentage up, which is what we're expecting next year, then
Uh-huh.
the sky's the limit. So yeah, so closing for the Bears, we already said it. I think they do have the coach, they do have the quarterback. That's going to ensure some stability, some consistency, and we'll see if it translates into wins.
D-Money?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. I think this will be a perennial playoff team. I think it'll get to the point where by wild card or winning the division, they'll always be in the mix. Winning the big dance is tough. It's always 31 teams every year that are disappointed. And there are a lot of great players and a lot of great teams that never got it done. So that's always the goal. But the more immediate goal is to have a consistent team, like Ultimate said, that makes the playoff year in and year out and always has a shot at the big dance. So we got pretty much the foundation set, show up a few weaknesses on the defense, and I think we'll have a pretty decent team.
Seeing that you're there in Chicago, what's going on with the stadium?
Oh, dude. Well, there's a lot of so right now they made a they're seriously talking to Northwest Indiana, and the governor there is a lot more excited about it than the governor here in Illinois, to be perfectly honest with you. So we have to see what happens. I mean, I think the commissioner came out and met with the governor in Northwest Indiana. Roger Goodell was with the Bears meeting about the stadium in Indiana and where possibly it might be. So, this could be some what do you call it when they're trying to leveraging, I guess, for lack of a better word, to get some better options here in Arlington Heights or in Illinois. But I mean, right now the talks are Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, I saw the Gary Mayer was on one of the news channels last week. They had renderings of the stadium and locate 3 or 4 locations that will be optimal, all this sort of thing. So they were excited.
But the other thing is Indiana. I don't know where this piss poor state gets this money from, but they're ones that are trying to say that they would go ahead and build the thing, and then the Bears just pay off the loan, and then they wouldn't have to pay taxes while they're paying off the loan. So, I mean, it's probably going to be a better deal, obviously, but I do think the Bears want to build in Arlington Heights. Ultimately, that is what they want to do. To build an
As a Southsider, I'm not that upset if they build it in Northwest Indiana. To be honest with you, it's not,
I wouldn't care either, to be honest.
It's not that far of a drive.
well, look, and I remember talking to somebody about this. The New York Giants have played in New Jersey for over 40 years.
That's right.
So it's not something that hasn't happened before, and that's a charter franchise as well. So it's not unprecedented that would happen. So I mean,
KC's moving, changing states.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
Are we not going to go? You think fans are not going to show up? Of course they're going to go to a nice state-of-the-art indoor stadium. Everybody's going to go to that. And
absolutely.
And now you probably bring in even more people from Indiana. So honestly, If it happens, cool. You do what you got to do as a team. We're gonna roll with them either way, especially as long as Caleb's here.
And they're not going to be the Indiana Bears. They'll still be the Chicago Bears in Indiana. Right. So you're not going to see the big I on their uniform showing this the state of Indiana. So yeah, get used to that if it were to happen. But I mean, look, Bears got to do what the Bears got to do in regards to the best deal for them. So hopefully they get what they want or some facsimile of what they want from Illinois. I would prefer that they stay in Illinois, but being a Southsider, a longtime Southsider, that would be attractive for me because it's going to be a much easier drive there to Arlington Heights.
And it's only a 10-minute drive for me now here at Soldier Field, to be honest. But it's just a lot.
So either way,
Arlington Heights doesn't even appeal to me at all, to be honest with you. So
I could kind of see that. I can kind of see that. But look, if the team is good, Soldier Field is just not a problem, is it?
It's not.
No, it's just
because that had that place rocking this year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's just small. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's just a little bit too small. Although from what I heard, it would only be like another maybe 4,000 or 5,000 seat difference with the new stadium. So yeah. So I mean, the Bears season ticket list is still what? How many years that you have to be on that list to even have a sniff of being a season ticket holder? So whatever. All right. So now we are done with our Bears talk for now. Let's focus on the NFL playoffs. And let me just say this, and I said this before. It appears that CJ Stroud peaked as a rookie. That performance on Sunday was just downright abysmal. You remember that when the Bears and the Texans played Caleb's rookie year and CJ gave Caleb that pep talk? Who gives that pep talk now?
Yep.
Yeah,
I remember it very
Caleb.
clearly. And I do want to point out that I think when we were picking our games last week, my single reason not picking Houston
was CJ
Stroud.
Yeah.
So he backed me up.
Yeah, he backed you the bleep up, as a matter of fact. But and I had them going to the Super Bowl, but my one concern was, well, the quarterback, because that is a Super Bowl defense if I have ever seen one.
Yeah, that in Seattle.
Yeah. So that their defense definitely is a Super Bowl caliber defense. But yeah, CJ Stroud, I don't know. I mean, as a matter of fact, there may have been a coaching decision that maybe you should have had Davis Mills start that second half.
It was definitely a talk, and I think it would probably been a proper decision, prudent decision, because he struggled.
So you got the Patriots win, and then you got the Bills, and you had the Broncos, and you had the controversial call. Was it a catch? Was it an interception? Regardless of what happened, it cost the coach his job. The coach is no longer there now.
He got sent home.
So that means there were 10 coaching vacancies this year all of a sudden. Because I mean, when the season ended, it was like 5, but just as time has gone on, people have just been getting fired left and right. And but again, if you turn the ball over as much as Josh Allen did, Josh Allen cost him that game. Actually, it wasn't necessarily on just that one particular play, but there were 5 turnovers. I mean, a couple of fumbles, interceptions. But with Bo Nix breaking his ankle, I don't see Jarrett Stidham. I mean, you can go ahead with the hostile talk and all that other stuff about the Nick Foles talk. That's not happening. The Patriots are going to the Super Bowl.
I'm going to say this. So, like I said before, I'm going to pat myself on the back. Josh Allen had a Lamar Jackson moment.
You did.
Exactly
you
right,
did.
right?
Yep, you did. No, you know what? again, vomiting in my mouth. But yes, you did say that, and that's it. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened.
Right. So before I get into my picks for this weekend, I'm going to give my picks for the championship games for next year first. You heard it first. You heard it first. You
All
heard
right.
it first from me. Four
Okay.
quarterbacks from the same draft class are going to be in the championship series. Jaden Daniels against Caleb Williams, Drake May against Bo Nix. That's the next year's championship games. Okay.
Wow.
Now I
Okay.
got that. Now that I got that out the way,
Yes.
I'm not sure who money got, but I think I've got. It may be a close game, but I got Seattle over the Rams at home. I think they'll do it at home. The Rams haven't been playing great. I think the Rams offense this weekend had a lot to do with the weather, more so than the Bears defense, but they're not playing great. Vegas odds have them obviously Seattle the favorite, but not a huge favorite. So I got Seattle at home. And then the Broncos and the Patriots. I don't think Bo Nix was as important to this team as everybody's making him out to be. I
Oh.
think he was the true definition of a system quarterback. Sean
Oh.
Payton plugged him in and he was getting it done. So I wouldn't be surprised if the backup quarterback came in and managed the game to the extent in a home game where they beat the Patriots. So although the Denver is a I would say sizable underdog in the game. It's like a plus 215. So I think Denver can win this game at home, but even more so than that, why I'm picking Denver is because I'm hating on Drake May. I don't want to see him get to a conference championship game before Caleb Williams. That's the only reason. if Williams is in the game, I would pick Drake May, but I'm hating on him. So I'm like, look, you can't get to that point before Caleb does. So I'm fully admitting it. I'm hating on Drake May, so I'm pulling for Denver. Going to pick Denver. I think the backup quarterback can come in this situation and pull out a victory.
Wow. So Denver and Seattle. D Money?
So when it comes to Denver and New England, I'm kind of hating on one of the teams too, but not the same team as Ultimate. So I'm gonna hate on the Broncos because I just don't like Sean Payton.
Okay. All right. There
I
you
don't
go.
either, but go ahead.
Like that guy, and I just want him to fail. I would hate to see him go to another Super Bowl. So because of that, I'm going to root for New England to beat them. And I think more than likely that's going to happen anyway, because I think the backup quarterback is going to get trounced by that New England defense. And I think Drake May is going to play pretty good. Now, I picked the Rams to win the whole thing. So I got to stick with them going into going into Seattle. And I'm not quite sure that Sam Darnold is the guy to get past the Rams. For some reason, when he plays against this team, he likes to turn the ball over. They escaped by the skin of their teeth the last time they played them. And I just don't think that he has what it takes to get past the Rams. I think the Rams has a better team and they definitely have a better coach. So I'm saying the Rams and New England, and then the Rams will win the whole thing.
Okay, so like D Money, I had the Rams winning the whole thing, so I'm going to stay with the Rams. However, Seattle's most recent performance was very impressive. They made the 49ers look like hell, the Texans, really. That was a very impressive performance. They put up 40 and they only allowed 6 points to them. So would I be surprised if Seattle wins? Not at all. But I'm still sticking with the Rams because I have them winning the Super Bowl. As far as the AFC is concerned, I do have New England go ahead and winning that game. Jarrett Stidham, no, listen. The Patriots defense is not bad either. So it's not like the Patriots defense sucks. So it would be different if they were more middle of the road. But I don't really see the offensive weapons that Denver has in order to get over the hump with that, even with Bo Nix. So that being said, I have the Patriots and the Rams with a Super Bowl rematch from what was it, 2018, 2019? 2018, yeah. So with a Super Bowl rematch, with obviously the Rams winning.
Okay, I didn't pick the winner. I picked Seattle over the Rams, and I picked Denver over the Pats. Then I got Seattle winning it all.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, then let's go to our segments. But first, there is some breaking news. Mike McDaniel, who was rumored to be the OC for the Detroit Lions, is going to be the OC for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay.
Also, it does appear that the Bears will lose their coach, Eric Bieniemy, back to Kansas City, and he's going to be their OC again.
So Matt Nagy's fired.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, because Matt Nagy doesn't have a job, doesn't have a coaching job right now. So and if you want to really keep it a buck, their offense was so much better when he was the OC as opposed to when Nagy was the OC, even though the OC is Andy Reid. But it just so happens that they still, when Nagy took over, that the offense just wasn't the same. So yeah, so there you got those two things. I don't think as long as the Bears don't lose, obviously Ben Johnson or Dennis Allen, we're okay. We're going to lose a couple of guys, but I saw Drew's dropping them, said, "Oh, Declan Doyle's also in the portal." So what? It doesn't matter. He's not really the OC. So no, and it would behoove Declan to continue to learn under Ben Johnson and then kind of fly the coop a few years from now. But nevertheless, so let's go to our segments. Ultimate, who you got?
The ultimate performance. The definition of ultimate. It's normally like the way I've been interpreting it for this segment is like the best or most extreme example of its kind. You know, like the best, like I'm like the most, I'm not going to say I'm the best, but I am like the most extreme, like of my kind. That's kind of what this has all been built off of. The best or most extreme example of its kind. However, with this particular segment, I'm going to flip the definition and use the other definition of ultimate, which is kind of like the ending of a process or the final step of a process, finality, ultimate, ending. So with that being said, I got three people I'm going to jointly give the award to. It was going to be one, but you guys mentioned his name earlier. I felt kind of bad about it, so I'm going to throw some other people in there with him as being culpable for this particular incident.
Okay.
So the ultimate performance goes to jointly DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, and Ben Johnson on the final play of the game due to the miscommunication and the bad call. I don't know if it was DJ's fault for not flattening out the route. I don't know if it was Williams' fault for not reading it properly, knowing he was going to continue to go vertical or not checking down. I don't know if it was Ben Johnson's fault for not just calling more conservative play call in that situation. But at the end of the day, they ended the Bears season and the fans' hope in one fell swoop with one bonehead play, one interception that didn't have to happen. Bears could have kind of milked the field a little bit more, chunk here, chunk there. No big down the field decision. And people will say, "Oh, Caleb threw the ball downfield. Why is he being so greedy about it? Why did Ben Johnson even have that as an option? Have like a little out route on the left side, boundary side, one on the right, something down the middle, short passes, get the first down, keep it moving, move the chains, kick a field goal." So with all that being said, I'll just repeat it. Ultimate performance for ultimately ending the season. One play. DJ Moore for not flattening out his route. Caleb Williams for throwing it to him in the first place, knowing he gets lazy on routes. And Ben Johnson for putting the decision-making judgment process on a second-year quarterback. There we go.
Wow.
That sounds ultimate more like hot garbage to me.
It really does. It really does.
Probably.
Ultimate hot garbage is what that segment was.
Feel free to repeat it then. Feel free to repeat it.
D-Money, I don't know if you can follow that, but please try.
I I can't, but I have to. So, but that's not my hot garbage pick, although it is a runner-up without a doubt. But my hot garbage pick is more one that's just kind of a selfish pick because it affected two teams that I was rooting for. The Buffalo Bills and the Chicago Bears both had plays where a receiver caught a ball and the defender took the ball out of the receiver's hands. One was called an interception, and the other one was called down by contact. Both were the same plays in my eyes. So one cost the Buffalo Bills a possession that clearly would have put them in field goal range to probably win the game. And the other one also cost the Bears a possession that would have helped them to win the game. So the thing is, it looked exactly the same to me, but New York called them differently. So because of that, and because of the outcomes for the teams that I supported, New York and the NFL, your judgment call on those plays was absolutely hot garbage.
Wow. And Sean McDermott agrees with you wholeheartedly.
He went home
Okay.
because of it. Yeah.
So my rising star, I have two rising stars, but I have teams. The one obviously is the Indiana Hoosier football team. You go 16-0. This is the third consecutive year that the Big Ten has won the National College Football Championship. But no one, and I mean no one, saw this coming because everyone thought Indiana was a fraud last year when they got into the college football playoff because they got their asses handed to them by Notre Dame. But this year, Cignetti pushed all the right buttons and got this team to believe and perform. And really, the only competition they did have was in the championship game where Miami had a really good, gave them a good run, but Carson Beck is going to do what Carson Beck does, and he did. So therefore, the Indiana Hoosiers, that's 1A. 1B is going to be the Chicago Bears. And I say this as a rising star is, yeah, we don't know. 2026 is not guaranteed in regards to what they do. But the fact of the matter of how they unified the city of Chicago, how they played some of the most exciting football that Chicago has ever seen. Not dominant football like the 85 Bears, but just exciting football because you didn't know what was going to happen. And they pulled out so many things out of their collective asses on numerous occasions. So the Indiana Hoosiers and the Chicago Bears are my rising stars for this week.
Fair. Give him a round of applause.
Yeah, I would say that I would put the button on, but I don't know if it works. So anyway, so as far as doing too much, I don't know. Any candidates for people doing too much?
Oh man.
I mean, besides the usual suspects.
I would say besides the usual one you mentioned a lot, but I can't think of anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, probably Ben Johnson for putting plays in and being too aggressive.
Yeah.
Now the Theo Benedict play, yeah, don't scrap that. I never want to see that again. That no, hell no, doing too much. That's all right. I know you're creative, but that's just going a bit step too far. So okay. So now, here's my question. Now that the Bears are done, what's going to be our schedule? We're doing this. We're doing a meeting here live on the stream here. So are we coming back next week once we get the final two for the Super Bowl, or are we gonna go 2 weeks and just discuss the Super Bowl? What do we want to do?
Yeah, my vote is Super Bowl show.
Okay. All right. So 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah, well, it'd probably be 3 weeks, right?
Is the Super Bowl the week after, or is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we got the NFC championships, and then 2 weeks after that is the Super Bowl. So 3 weeks, my friend.
3 weeks? Okay, all right. So we're meeting before the Super Bowl, though, right?
No, he voted. Voted to. I mean, I don't care. He voted to say after Super Bowl.
Well,
Oh, after
yeah.
the Super Bowl.
So we could do it before the Super Bowl show.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying. So it'd be 2 weeks, right?
so, yeah. So then,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
before and after.
Okay.
Okay, I
Sorry,
got
so 2 weeks. Okay. Well, then, D Money, now that we have that set, drive us off this picture.
All right, everybody. Peace, and make